Yo, what up? This is very first episode.
Bərd.
Bərd podcast.
Hold on. We gotta run that back. We ain't gotta re-record it now. We ain't going on film, but like, that was dry.
So what kind of intro you want to do?
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was taking a piss.
I mean, like, I was just gonna simple, like, what up, first episode.
What, man? This is it. This is it. Fuck it.
You want to leave us in?
Yep, this is gonna have to be
first episode. You know what I'm saying? This is how we give it up already.
Yeah.
Goddamn. So listen.
That actually it goes into the concept of what is it? I was talking about just being grateful, and I was saying like I ain't got a fancy car, I got a car. I ain't got a fancy crib, I got a crib. Yeah, just keep it simple. At least you get it and you get going. That's what it's about. That's how
I feel that.
Start off.
I feel that.
Hey, I like
so as always, how are you doing?
I can't complain. I just motherfucking before we started here, I took a couple pulls from the backwood and motherfucking since I'm sitting on my porch and stuff and I'm smoking, I'm just like on the main street. And cops usually like they be sitting here parked with the highway joints checking motherfuckers, and I'm just thinking like, damn, they can't arrest me for this. I'm sitting here, what a world. Like, shit has changed. So what about yourself, man? How you feeling?
I'm recovering off of a 2-3 day cold. You know what I'm saying? So I still got a lot of mucus, a lot of coughing, but all of it coming out, you know what I'm saying? I don't got the vid.
I was about to say, yeah.
Nigga tested negative, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no vid on me, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So, we straight out here. But yeah, so, we've been off, chilling, taking our time. And let's just jump right into it. Like, what you want to get into first?
Well, you said we've been off, giving context to the fact that, like, motherfucking, we do work at the same overnight. Well, not I'm overnight, you daytime, but we work the same job on our W-2 side of things.
Right.
And so, like, motherfucking, like, coincidentally, like, we took a leave of absence, accidentally for you, purposely for myself.
Yeah. Involuntarily, leave of absence.
But the timing was just right, like you kind of get stuck in the rat race. You don't have as much time as you want to focus on the things that you need to for yourself as far as your own goals is concerned.
Right.
So this gave us the perfect time to just like get into what we needed to explore creative realms, so to speak.
I agree. Like I said, my leave was involuntary, so I wasn't really expecting to go right away. So I really didn't have like anything going. You know what I mean? It wasn't planned, but knowing that we had this in the tuck, like it made all the more sense. You know what I'm saying? But I got something. We don't gotta jump into anything crazy just yet.
I'm listening.
But I do want us to get into our inception pretty much.
Okay.
So even before we decided to even start like podding for real, like our inception as to,
how we came to be.
Yeah, like what was like the initial like thing that was like clicking us together so much. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I would say before it all clicked, it didn't. I met you like cause motherfucking we moved back to the city and shit, and I'm kicking it with Zay, our cousin, mutual family member and shit, and goddamn, that's how I met you. You came over, who's my aunt Annie, who's your grandmother.
So, but let's tell the real story, right?
What's up?
So I came over, right? Like any normal weekend, I would come over, or whatever weekday it was, right?
Well, you came,
Whatever day it was.
This was my first time seeing you over there.
I come over, I'm expecting to see one nigga there.
This is
I turn in the corner, and I'm like, who is this nigga?
Yeah. I get to hear saying Kobe before I meet him and shit, and I'm just like, who
this bitch ass nigga?
Who the fuck is Kobe, man? I'm me. Like, the fuck, I'm funny. Like, yeah, I'm me, man. What the fuck is this nigga that they talking about? These ghost stories. And so I finally, like...
These ghost stories.
Yeah, I finally meet this motherfucker. Like, I see him at the crib, and him and Zay's playing the game and shit. I don't know, man. I don't like this nigga.
Instantly, like, I think, you know what it was? I instantly, like, it was already just like, this is not knowing each other.
Yeah.
Like, we already naturally have that energy.
I said, this my nigga.
Right. I'm like, this is my nigga.
Did I just hear what I said? Did I just hear what I said?
We sound like a bunch of bitches.
I said it all proud. I said, my nigga. Shit, man.
This is for my niggas.
This is my real gospel. But nah, man, like, motherfucker, it was just a thing of, like, you got inside jokes and shit that you develop and shit, and like you see this other motherfucker try to come in on the clique, and it's just like, from my perspective, to see y'all have inside jokes that I didn't understand and have laughter that I couldn't share in necessarily, I was just like, man.
But the thing about it was like you made sort of transition into like the friendship that at one point I began to feel like left out. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know I didn't live as close to y'all,
right. So you couldn't spend as much time as frequently.
Yeah, like I'll be there a lot, but you'll be there
on there every day.
Yeah, you were there on days I wasn't there.
Right.
So eventually, like those tables started to turn more and more.
You know what? That speaks a deeper thing too. I know we were talking about our inception, but to open up on that, like both of us saw two sides of that as well. Like motherfucking the times in which you know there's a thing of a person if a person comes to you talking shit about somebody, you know that they must also do the same thing to you in your absence. And so we both had seen the shade thrown our way in our absence.
Right.
And so like I can speak to that in ways where like you know, when you was younger, you had a big problem with being called an asshole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you just didn't like the perception, and that was a perception that they had held back then.
Ask about it now.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, and so like,
yes.
and so I can only, and I know there were times in, you know, which I was sent home and you were staying overnight. Shit, you know what?
Me personally, I wasn't ever really the one. Like, it was more so just like a confusion from my part. Like, because how me and Zay were it was like I felt like you said that was your nigga, but in my mind like this is my nigga.
Yeah,
like
you knew him since way before I came into the picture.
Like we were children.
Yeah,
like
y'all were raised together.
Yeah,
literally.
like he was 4, I was 3.
Yeah,
he was 6, I was. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I had cousins like that I had no longer had that kind of relationship. So I get what you mean.
You know, so in your absence, like I felt like you know like what is he doing that is making him like this like new like entry, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand.
What is missing in me? Type
yeah,
shit. This is real bitch shit.
Hey, look, it's real. Yo, I can show you bitches again. Like,
what am I lacking that this nigga got?
Like, you like this nigga?
He said, I'm fat.
Like, you like this nigga? You like this nigga, bitch? Yeah, that's
I got jokes.
Yo.
I'm gonna leave off the table for now. We're in the first episode.
Let one go. Let it go.
Look at it. Alright. So, hey man, I'm joking.
Alright, so look.
See, we can joke about it, but it's real life.
Oh,
yeah.
Just. Okay. I feel you now.
It's a funny one.
I knew you was going with that, but I didn't know like the whole like what I was missing out on the days I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like what I was used to wasn't the dorm anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then the tables turned again when me and you started clicking.
See, this was a different table. This wasn't even a table turning. This was a whole new table.
I think it was the same table.
Well,
so for example, right? At first, it was like me.
Oh, well, the table turns on who, though?
That's what I'm saying. So me and Zay are at the table originally, and then you come at the table.
Now the table's turned on him.
Right. Table was turned on me first. Or rather, they weren't on your side first. They were towards me and him.
We all felt it, I guess. Right. We all felt the flip of the table. Yeah. Like a hot potato with a table.
Juggling up on the table.
Right. I see that.
So when it came towards me and you, and we started clicking, it was kind of like, I don't know, like it made a little bit more sense as to what was like getting us like along.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It was. I mean, because as you get older, you what is it? You know yourself more.
Right.
And motherfucking, we had clicked just on love for women and shit, and motherfucking, we had the same sense of humor already.
Oh, Migo.
You know what I mean? Just yeah, you know, getting bitches to strip, like you know what I mean? So it was It was a thing like that, and motherfucker, yeah. We can relate.
Yo.
We can relate. Like we dudes, and we can relate on like what we like to do.
I wanna. We don't gotta go too deep into it, but I do want to touch on just
Omegle.
Yeah, I do want to touch on
man.
it. Only because like I would have never known about that shit had it not been for you.
Well, like I would have never known about it. That I had a long distance friend. I mean, I met her in person, but she was in Virginia, and we had left Virginia, came to Chester and shit. So we stayed in contact, and she was one of these girls who thought that she would find Harry Styles on Omegle and actually talk to this man, and so. Motherfucking, I would go up there with her and yeah, just fucking flirt with bitches on the chat side while she acting like she looking for Harry Styles and stuff, and we be on Skype together and shit. And so us being on Skype, I'm like, there's a video option thing here, but she warned me against it. She was like, never go, I never go on there. And so one of these days, I finally got a webcam drone. On the laptop, and I was just like, alright, bet. I went on the video part, and soon saw why I would regret it, you know. Dick galore. And I was just like, fuck. Everybody had the same idea as me. I was gonna get up there and flash all the bitches. I just knew that was gonna be there.
Everybody had the same idea.
But every nigga beat me to the punch.
They beat, alright.
I thought I was gonna fight.
It was beat.
They get out there like, cool? He said, nigga, you too? Yo, but like, motherfucker. Yeah, so like, but eventually I would find bitches up there, and goddamn, I learned like the little, put my hoodie on, get the angle right, and goddamn try to use the bass in my voice and everything. And get the bitches.
Remember that one time you came to my college and we went to the BSU meeting and everything. I don't know if you remember this shit. I remember this shit because it's just.
How did it go?
Everybody was fucking like talking and like raising their hand to talk, and when you raised your hand and you started talking, everybody was like, "Damn, this nigga voice deep."
I be doing that shit. I'm like,
yo,
I be pulling it out the pocket.
Everybody was like, "What the fuck? This nigga voice deep as
hell."
Damn,
I didn't remember that.
I remember that shit.
I remember right now.
I remember that shit. I was like. This nigga cool.
Yeah, I be doing that.
I was mad as shit. I was like, this nigga cool.
Get out of my school. I said, this is Zay all over again.
I'm never about this nigga no school ever again.
He said, nigga, fuck you.
Get out my school.
Get out my school. Alright. Oh shit, I do remember that shit. That's funny. That shit. I remember now.
I look around, I'm like,
and I was all dressed to the T. I was like, I know it was when I used to shop.
I'm like, this nigga don't even go here. What the fuck?
He was like the bitch off of Mean Girls. Doesn't even go here.
I was mad as well. I was like, man, nigga, you gonna fuck some bitch over here.
He said, I gotta stay here. Like, this nigga.
Man, don't even understand.
I gotta wake up here and shit. Where your cousins?
Like, what you get out that nigga with a deep ass voice? No, I wasn't, bitch. I wasn't. Shit, he gone.
Damn it. Nah. But, motherfucker, that's crazy.
But fast forward, you know what I'm saying, me and you started hanging out more and more. You started coming over my house more and shit.
Definitely.
And we just started like clicking more and more.
Yeah, that was the disconnect. That's where the gap came.
Yeah.
We started hanging out separately when I started going to your crib.
Right.
And it happened accidentally, as I remember, because all three, me, you, and Zay was supposed to be over there that night. I don't think he felt like going. I don't think.
Well, he came the first few nights when we started all coming over my house.
I think it was one integral night.
It was one
night that he didn't come.
And
I did. And we just had the funnest time.
Like, it was crazy.
We had the funnest time. Like,
that was so crazy. I don't even remember what we did. I just remember like how fun it was.
Yeah, like it was probably just a normal day, like playing video games, sitting there. I probably introduced you to Omegle or some shit that day or some shit.
Funny part was my dad brought up our vines. He
He
brought up the one when you fucking punched the door and there's a hole in the wall. Funny story about that one, but but yeah, he brought up that shit. I was like, damn, we was over here just doing like the craziest shit.
I think we got outside too. We just the stuff we would do. It felt like that's where the separation came. Throwing footballs and like kind of just like getting out when we went on store runs. And I think that was another thing. There was a lot of restriction on what you was allowed to do.
Yeah, I couldn't do a whole lot.
So when we would just leave the house at like in a deeper night.
I literally just told my mom about that, and she was like. She was gone.
She was upset.
She wasn't upset, but she couldn't do nothing about it now.
Yeah.
But like she was like, if I would have known that, I would have whipped your monkey ass.
I'd have never gave that nigga another ride to the crib again.
They talked about the time you walked to the crib. They was like, hey, you walked to the crib in the snow. I'm like, you walked to the crib in the snow?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, I remember that. I said, this one took a year out.
I was like, wait. I was like, this nigga walked to the crib in the snow. I was like, I forgot about that shit. So I remember that you walked to the crib one time and it was nice outside. I remember that.
It wasn't too bad.
It
was windy.
Yeah, it was nice. It wasn't cold, but I think I partially remember the time.
It was just a long walk, and then it told me that if I didn't have a ride, just stay home. At that time. But
that shit was so funny. And then,
home wasn't fun. I had to get out of there.
Hey, look, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, damn it.
I was
about to say, look at me now. Jeez.
So, fast forward a little bit more. One of the times we're hanging out, like, we walk up the street to the McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, get like this big ass fucking breakfast and shit like that. Had like cinnamon melts and was it breakfast or lunch we got?
I remember you getting chicken nuggets.
Yeah, it was lunch.
More so.
Yeah, I was the 20 piece. I can never finish that shit.
I was about to say, I don't think it wasn't often that we would get up early enough for the breakfast type shit.
Yeah. Because we'll be up all night.
Yeah.
So we went up there for lunch. Had like the fucking 20 piece nuggets and all that shit.
Sherbet.
Yeah, and all that. So and then that day, like, we discovered that we wanted to like move to New York together, be roommates, you know what I'm saying, and like live that kind of lifestyle.
Really discuss it.
You know,
Trey Songz. See, that was another thing too. I was a big fan of Trey Songz old mixtapes and shit.
Right.
I would never listen to his new shit.
I never listened to his old shit.
I mean, like, so, like, goddamn, it was kind of that yin yang thing. Like, I'm I'm old fashioned. I get stuck in my ways, and you're more generational, and you're not afraid of change and shit. So it gave that mix of perspective. It helped out.
Like I was like, you show me shit off of I Gotta Make It. I was like, nigga, I'm playing chapter 5, nigga. But it was fire though, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I didn't know niggas going this hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit was crazy. But see, even like, you know, I'm bringing that up because even our inception of like the pod and everything, like, and the journey it took to get here, and how like we were trying to do it just a few years ago, you know, and it wasn't necessarily the way we wanted it to be. Now, being what it is now, and with who we are now, like, it just made so much more sense. And that day of just even just like, you know, going out similar way, getting something to eat,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Seeing what we saw that day, you know what I mean, that reminded us of like,
what
you know,
are you talking about? What day?
When you picked me up from the crib and we was going to Smash Burger. We had to go to the gym, and then we drive through Chester.
Okay.
And then we drove past.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So
all together.
And then with all that, it just made more of a reminder of just like, damn, like, you know, look at where we are now.
Yeah.
You know, and
just to give context, subtle context, because we're not here to like burn any bridges or whatnot, but like just what he's mentioning is like you know, you drive past reminders on the highway where you once walked, and it gives you perspective on how much you've grown now that you're driving. You know, that's what he's speaking to.
And see where you could still be.
Yeah. Had you not put certain things in place to put you in that driver's seat. So like, you motherfucking I see what you're saying.
And all that, you know, correlating, and then at the end of the day, just being like, yo, like, let's like really do this shit. Like,
yeah. Because why not? Like,
and being excited about it.
Real shit. Because
you know?
Like you said, we wanted to go to New York. What do we do? Like, sure, like you said, you also said things didn't happen exactly as we had foreseen or pictured them, but they happened.
They happened in their own way.
They happened.
You know what I mean?
I don't have a fancy car.
Yeah. Got a car.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So,
makes sense.
It's all that just to give people, you know, context as to what we are and like where we came from, and you know, and all that good shit. So
yeah, that makes sense, because they don't know us from anywhere.
Yeah, you know, unless you personally
right, like but in my mind, like, this is bigger, and no offense, I love the support, but this is bigger than the people we know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
for sure,
it is good for us to kind of give that kind of, you know, expound on who we are.
Absolutely. So
we family, but that's my nigga.
now that we got all the introduction, let's really like start pod.
Bet.
You know what I'm saying?
What you had to say too? Yeah.
I got some I got some interesting shit that we could probably start getting into. So I had this thought the other day.
Okay.
Specifically yesterday. I don't know why it or what caused this thought to happen. But I've had a handful of just embarrassing moments with like girls over the course of my life.
So have I.
Just like some embarrassing shit that as a man that no one really prepares you for. You know.
I was just in the trim room at the other job, and the motherfucker, I was saying, I thought I was the only dude at the time. I was like, I'm sitting here wondering why my nipples hurt when I was going through puberty. Like, they didn't prepare me for this part. Like, nigga, I knew about the wet dreams. Why am I lactating?
Your nipples was fire, nigga.
They was hurting. Like motherfucker. You should know what I'm talking about. I never knew. Well, the nigga that heard me say the joke was laughing because he went through it too. So I thought it was normal after that. I learned that day that I wasn't the only nigga.
You was pregnant.
All that bitch shit was fucking like that. I had my nigga. That was your nigga. What's your nigga? I had my titties coming in. So this is my nigga.
Turned to a bitch so quick. This is my nigga.
Well, damn. So like, all right, but yeah, like. Shit, man, we've all had them shit said. You can't be, but you say you can't be prepared for it. Like, nobody prepares you for a lot of this shit. So, what are you speaking to?
So,
if you feel comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I come to pod, guys.
So, I made a pod.
This one particular time, goddamn, this is kind of like to shorten the story, right?
Right.
No one prepared me, or no one told me the signs when you're about to start dating a hoe. Like a ho-ho. So before I became the man that I am today, right, I had to go through these things.
Okay.
Back in high school, right, it was one chick. Like,
okay, I was about to say, what occasion we talking about?
Oh yeah, no. Past year.
You
like,
should have seen my man.
Hell no. High school though. A bitch I'm ashamed of.
I said, I'm sorry.
So fucking this was like back in high school, goddamn, and and this girl liked me. Then I never talked to her like once throughout my whole high school career, but she liked me, right? Okay. And I was like, all right, she wasn't too bad, so let me start fucking with her a little bit. So lo and behold, I started hearing some whispers about this bitch. As soon as people start seeing us together. So Alyssa, she started coming up to me and was like, your girl used to, fool around with such and such. Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, okay, like, so what? And she was like, yeah, he told me, he was like, yeah, it's weird, it's weird seeing Cove kiss his girl in the mouth when she had my nuts in her mouth. I was like, he said that?
He said, huh?
he said, I was like, he said that?
He said that?
And I was like, I was so mad.
At what though?
At the... What you mean at what? Nigga.
Here's what I mean. Like,
yo.
Hear me out. When I say at what?
You know at what, bitch. You know the fuck at what. You know at what.
Okay, what I really mean is at who.
You know at who. Like, bitch. You ain't tell me.
Okay. That's all I wanted to make sure. I was like, is he mad at him or
No. I knew then I'd never be mad at no nigga. I already knew it's be mad at this bitch because you playing with me now.
I wanted to see where the game was being played. I was like,
nowadays, like I'm saying, like
the game fucked
the
up.
The lesson out of there I learned was that one, I never really want to know
she
about.
Put her dicky lips on you.
Yo, I was so hurt. No, she did.
The real shit, that's what fucked me up kind of these days. Like motherfucking. Shit, movies used to piss me off. Before I even had my own experiences. 8 Mile, Brittany Murphy, ooh. Like, when I saw that studio scene,
oh yeah,
I was just like, bitches. Like, I had to be, like, 7'6", but, like, I hated, like, movie scenes where it just showed the betrayal of women. Like, maybe it was a deeper, darker to that, but like I just
but that shit changes you, man. Like yeah. I knew
I was afraid to feel that. So
the lesson I took away from that shit, I was like, one, I don't want to ever ask a woman about her past because it's none of my business anyway.
Right.
But two, I also don't even want to be affiliated with a woman who's that like promiscuous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in that way, I don't want to take you that serious. Knowing that, you know what I'm saying, this niggas out here talking about me like that. Like, I don't even want that type of energy.
Well, in school, like, I see how that worked out in high school. In real life, when you're an adult, how does that really work? What if that's the person for you?
No.
I say it's an after the fact thing. You find out after the fact that, like, you would have to be the one to admit that it's ego and pride. That's
I'll put it to you like on
the person.
I'll put it to you like this. I'm already assuming you coming with that anyway. I'm just already assuming.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's gonna save me the thought of thinking otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, it's like, we all out here fucking. Like you said, we all adults. So because I know we all out here fucking. Like, I'm gonna assume you probably fucking just as much as me.
You already had a whole phase.
Yeah, so with that,
you're still in it.
Yeah, so it's like, and if you fucking with a nigga like me, it's
then
like
you're probably still in
it. I'm not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt of being, this good girl, this angel.
Right. You just fucked me.
Yeah, like
I know who I am.
Yeah.
So you fuck niggas.
That's all it is. So I'm not gonna set myself up potentially taking you serious.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're looking at me as a nigga who gonna change up for. It's like, no, bitch, be a hoe for me too.
You know what? Recently, I just I feel that because motherfucker, I was considering that, like, trying to be considerate of I'm a very straightforward brother. Like, I don't have the time for the beating around the bush, and so like a woman asking more of me than I'm willing to exchange fairly. Like, there's no, I know what I want out of this exchange, and I make it clear from the gate, so that way, like, the ball is in your court, and whatever decision you make, you're comfortable with that, so that when we go forward, there's no questions asked.
Right.
So when I go against the grain of my own accord, like, trying to say like we discussed before, it's something as simple as taking a woman on a date, spending time, or just having fun. These are things I just don't do. Like, and so I just say that to say, like, motherfucking, what were we talking about?
Originally, it was about embarrassing moments, but that led into dealing with women who got.
I said that to say, I think of the people she made it easier for, and maybe I shouldn't play a comparison game,
But you should. It's like, bitch, why do I have to be the exception?
Precisely.
Like,
don't come to me and try to make me the guy that has to
look at
pay
you different
for all their ways they made you feel,
right,
or be different from all the people that you've already experienced. I want the same thing they do. So, like, it's a good filter system for me, because, nowadays I'm getting better at missing out on pussy. Like, it used to be really hard to miss out on some pussy, especially if it looked damn good. Right. Like, but we a work in progress.
Listen, goddamn,
we a work in progress.
Hey, you ain't like I said, you don't switch up the rules for me. You know what I'm saying? Because and this is the conversation we had before about how we're viewed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, women will see me, and I've gotten majority of how I've heard how women perceive me is that I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Husbandy, like boyfriendy type shit, and I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a play the cards I'm dealt with that shit, right?
Right.
But because I know that, I'm only gonna want to keep that up for so long. You know what I'm saying? Because I know deep down, like, what it is I actually do want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. I am an asshole, but I'm willing to treat you nice. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's like that's only gonna be for so long, though.
Right. Yeah, it kind of just wears off. It's not special to me, now that's not to speak to every experience, because for example, I'm cool with Miss Lady, who I've known for like 3 years now and shit, and so that's a unique experience in and of its own, because that's its own understanding. However, typically, not a chance. Like, my bad. I was like, what were we talking about? I was slipping because I know the main point was that he was saying motherfucking fuck.
Hey, look, wherever it goes, goddamn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just talking about, like, just embarrassing moments, but
embarrassing moments. That's where it started, goddamn.
But that one, I'm just like having experienced that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
My pride.
I
can't even tell you. I can't even fucking tell you.
Shit, man. Like, embarrassing moments. I mean, I was comparing that to, like, say, when my first girlfriend had, like, came up to the car when my mom's was in there talking about something. She with Daquana. You was never here. Type shit. But, like, I took it. I kept it. My mom in the front seat looking up back at me like, I'm 7 and shit. And these little girls talking about something. She with Daquana. Like, I'm just in the back seat keeping it playing like, I don't care.
Niggas sound like Cassidy.
But, like, motherfucker. Fuck iron. And he the last.
He said the last time.
No, I said he the last. But then I stopped myself. But, boy, it's true. He the last nigga that beat me up. I was 7. He was supposed to be my friend. And out of nowhere, I think if we played for him, suddenly it was a knee in my stomach. And that took all the wind out of me. So, I was going down. But, oh man, I was coming back. One day.
Oh,
yeah,
that shit
man.
is so funny. Taquan.
I ran into that nigga when I was trying out for the football team. I said, that's I was like, let's stay quiet. I started running against her. I had to recognize this nigga like he was in the show of the Hunters.
You was trying to be Polish?
Yeah, I was like, that's... I was looking at the picture.
The nigga is you.
Yeah, lift that arm, nigga.
He said, lift that arm, nigga.
Thought it's a Hunter. I mean,
Racist? I feel like a Nazi.
Yo, that show.
Yo, let's get into that shit right now. Goddamn.
Like motherfucking.
I have some thoughts.
All right, I'm gonna start with Amazon Prime. I got that just to see Coming to America.
Was it good? I didn't watch it.
You ain't miss nothing. And so you know, I forgot to unsubscribe, and it did the automatic payment.
Yeah, the
thing.
renew.
And so I was like, fuck.
Right.
But then I kind of got used to having it as an option for company and shit. And so like motherfucking, I got into it a little more the other night because this whole leave of absence got me trying to take in the mindfulness thing. Just taking some time to yourself and what you do to kick back.
Right.
So I watched some shows. Felt weird, but you get comfortable. And man, I caught on to this thing, Hunter. Man, it's on Amazon Prime. It's a Amazon Prime original, and it caught my eye because Al Pacino is in that motherfucker. So
which I thought was like kind of like strange. Not to cut you off, but it was
Yeah.
kind of strange. Just because I'm just like, ain't this nigga Italian over here playing a fucking Jew?
well, they're Italian Jews.
Italians are Catholic.
Not all, right?
Majority. Hell, I ain't never seen no Italian Jew.
I have shit right at the job. Gianni, my man. What is it? Hold on.
But either way, Al Pacino.
Yeah. Facts. It was a good, so it was a good little bio on it, and it was true story. It says something about a true story based on true events. You know how that get black people, so we like, ooh. So I got into that, and that was all she wrote, man. Like, really good show. I ain't gonna spoil it, because you only learn like the third episode and shit.
Well, spoilers for the first 3 episodes. That's only the fuck where I'm at.
Where you landing at? Because I don't remember the... I'm
probably towards like the middle or the end of the third, but I want to get in at first.
What's happening where you at?
They just figured out the Morse code in the jaunt.
Who figured it out?
The old people.
Okay.
After they killed the producer dude in his house, and they took his tapes and everything, and he turned up the volume, and he was writing down the Morse code.
Uh-huh.
And I left off right when they went to the diner.
Okay.
Left off right there.
Mind you, all this stuff, it didn't happen exactly like that, but they're telling stories through that fictional team. Mm. But these events, real.
Didn't know.
Real. Like, when you... The more that season go, like, and you see what, like, came to happen in the United States at that time, real shit, I was like, yo...
It brought
made me look at the ingredients on my food.
it's like several things that I probably want to get into, but the first one was the main character Jonah.
Okay.
I had a real hard time liking this nigga at first.
Jonah, is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real hard time liking this nigga at first. Like, such a bitch ass nigga. Like,
can I tell you something?
Such a bitch. I'm pretty sure he gets better as the series goes on. Like, but that first episode, he don't. Nigga said,
it's all down for me, nigga. You don't like him now.
That first episode, I was like, oh my god, I hate this nigga, yo.
You remember how you felt about homeboy?
Who? Who? Who?
You did door to door, right?
Yeah. Wait, what?
You remember how you felt about homeboy?
Oh. He like that?
Some niggas just cut from that cloth.
Oh, he like that?
Jonah. Jonah was private. But he really never got it. True.
Yo, as long as I know you, you always want to say some fucking veggie tail.
I didn't know you knew it.
You always want to fucking say some goddamn veggie tail.
I was raised on this shit. Nigga.
Yo, and when I first met you, you was singing that shit. I was like, what the fuck is this nigga singing?
I was surprised. I said, you done it faster. Jonah was.
He was like, his name Jonah. He got so hyped. He was like, I got a song for his ass.
Oh, you just went, I got a spoon for you.
But I had such a hard time liking this nigga at first.
Oh yeah.
But more and more I started to like as a screenwriter and like getting into like the structure of movies and film.
Right.
I started to like look at his character archetype a little bit deeper. And I noticed that the parallels they kept making to like Batman and Robin and like the references they kept making to like popular culture. I was like, like what is this kind of like? It is kind of like a Batman. You know, he loses his parental figure, or Spider-Man, or Luke Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? And they have the ability to go truly into the dark side with their power that they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they get introduced to another type of mentor figure that guides them along, and they proceed to progress throughout the story. But with this nigga, I was having a hard time like relating to him at first. But then when I put myself in his shoes, I'm like, damn, like he's really trying to figure out how to even go about. Like he was telling the one lady, like, I already have my bat mitzvah. I'm not a boy, I'm a man type shit. And I'm like, damn, I felt him on that. He wants to be respected. You know what I'm saying? He got beat up in the first like 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, damn, like I understand his character a little bit more. You know what I mean? So, but because I have the understanding, it allowed me to give.
Laughing because they beat the brakes off.
He was like, my nigga could say was stop. Nigga said stop.
He said stop. Nigga drop.
Stop. Drop. Shut it down.
I'm gonna shut you down and open up. Shut. He said, oh no. He said, that's real, bro. That's real.
Nigga danced on him. He said, the single ladies.
The only reason I did that, motherfucker, the zombies in Left 4 Dead, it just, Zay used that Switch song by Will Smith, like Switch, turn it over there. Like, he said that's the zombies off of Left 4 Dead.
Wait.
If you just imagine it.
Wait.
It's the funniest shit in the world.
Wait.
The zombies go, do that dance. Switch. Turn around and switch. That's what they, because when they would step on you, you know when you dance, that's what we said they was doing. Just standing on you. Doing the single ladies to the Switch song. Yo, that shit used to be geeking, yo.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God.
Damn, what we was talking about.
Fucking Jonah's bitch ass.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, I am enjoying the show like a whole lot.
A whole lot. No, it's a real good show. And,
wasn't expecting these are like movies that they're fucking doing in each episode.
Oh yeah, that's why I wasn't surprised that Al Pacino was in the show. Like
I was like, why is this first episode so fucking? I was trying to tell him, I was like, this shit is so
high
going.
quality.
I was like, yo, I thought it was on the third
hour,
episode by
yeah.
now. Hour 30 minutes. Like I don't mind it. Like I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. I can appreciate it, especially when it's so few episodes. Like you run through a season really fast and don't have a second one.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I was trying to soak out. You try to get as much time out of it as you can, because it's one of those things. Like, have you ever seen Breaking Bad?
I've only ever like known the story. The only reason I never got into it was one of those things that everybody was watching it. Yeah, and I'm just like,
Well, then don't listen to Drake, nigga.
That's different. I was already on Drake.
You was.
I wasn't on Breaking Bad.
I can't tell you.
I was on the wave.
I can't tell you.
I'm OVO.
You ain't lying though.
I'm from the six.
You know what's
For the dicks. I was like, you said this nigga for the dick. That's fine.
I'm from a dick.
Ain't we all?
I said, ain't we all, dude.
Nigga said, what you want me to say?
Real shit.
Oh. Alright.
What was it?
Alright, but shit, yeah. So far, if you haven't checked out The Hunters, or is it just called Hunters?
Hunters, yes.
Hunters, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. It's a really good.
Really, really good show. You know what I mean? Something to really like binge into.
Also, another show I liked was C, but it's on Apple TV. Oh, been out. Got that dude from Aquaman. Really good concept.
What's it called?
C. S-E-E.
Mm.
Blind, the world, in the aftermath of like the World War IV type shit. Everybody went blind except for these kids. And now the blind people, it's real dope. The action scenes, the choreography is real dope. But the story is even better and the acting is great. But it's been out for so long. Apple TV has nothing to offer. So I wouldn't even, you know what I mean?
I never even on it. I wouldn't even know.
You probably got it for free and didn't even know it. Like, I got it till like, for another year. I've had it for free for like 2 years now. I don't know why. But when you first, when I was working at Apple, when you bought an Apple product, depending on if it qualified, you would get Apple TV for a year.
I never seen it pop up on my shit, so I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, if you didn't activate it, you probably still got the John. It don't. I don't think it expired.
And we back.
Shit, they wasn't supposed to know who's go.
Hey, fuck, they gonna never see that shit.
Cut, snip. We was talking about that Hunter show, and I was thinking about like, goddamn, because we worked at CMI together at the time, and this a telemarketing service, and I was motherfucking calling the dude who owned the beer distributor, but he was a 30-year member of the KKK. And I was thinking about when I saw the show Hunters, I was like, just how many Nazis, like, are ingratiated in the system and shit.
Right. It's
just how members of the KKK and all these other organizations are, like, higher ups and powerful people in government and kind of stuff like that. And motherfucking, it wasn't a thing that I even wanted to delve into. I related those two.
I mean, it's real though. Like, as long as like fucking America has had like enemies, like there's always been like spies or people who found their way to like, you know, get into the country secretly and, you know, live out certain lives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And manipulate certain things, you know what I mean?
There's also a thing to keeping your enemies close. So that sometimes in those situations that's what a lot of what the show Hunters revolves around. Like the U.S. is just when you're complacent in certain things, just because how it may play in the game of chess. So I can see that, you know, shit. I look at today and how those events in the past are probably have affected today and what could be in place, like the vaccine, for example. Like motherfucking, the further you get into the show, you'll connect the dots with what I'm saying. But like, it's just like, I wonder if you know, that even the timing of that show coming out in 2020 was to speak to the time that we're in now. Just, you know, what was laid so that these events could be happening. You know, I wonder if the end could be what the U.S. looks like in 10 years for us.
I mean, I think it's gonna be, I don't know, honestly.
It's not something you think about, is it?
But then again, like, how different is it from like the last 10 years?
10 years ago? 10 years ago, you was how old?
2011. Oh. So, I can't do math in my head.
How old are you now, bro?
I think I was like 13 back then.
Yeah.
14, 13, 14.
You know, 10. 20. 30, 40. I tried to make it easy. He said, I don't do bad. He just quit once I said a number. I said, so 1 plus 1 is
Stop.
I said minus 2. You got on the calculator. I said, how old was you 10 years ago? He said, 23. I said,
nah, it was definitely like 13, 14.
Bet. So,
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, 15, what's life like as a 15-year-old? Doing the Omegle thing. What was the world like? Met Romney. I didn't know. You can't really have much of a perspective on the world, like, or as good a perspective on the world when you're not making money in it. For real, when you're not participating in the market, you can't really tell what's going on in the world.
I mean, I think nowadays you get a better sense of what the world actually is, just due to the fact that most things are like, this is what's being like reported and what's being shown, you know. And in a lot of ways, you know, that can be controlled and manipulated. But
Right.
The fact of the matter is that it was a point in time where we had less information.
Right.
You know, and we had less access and visibility to certain things.
You think access, a certain amount of access is like, Kalani, you think that, like control over, because there's a lot of aspects in which access is it is to your own detriment, like the porn thing.
I do believe total freedom is too much freedom, because that without standards and rules and boundaries, it's chaos.
Total freedom is too much freedom. You know, I was just thinking recently.
It will be fucking animals in the wild. At that point,
when there's an episode in this Hunter show where the black babe with the afro, she
fine as fuck.
She's so fine. She get in her bag in one of these episodes, and she can kind of snap out on this congregation of white folks, and like there's a way to. I was thinking at the time there was a way to go about I understand how we feel. However, sometimes like the way in which we go about things could like look bad on the whole community and whatnot. And then I considered like a lot of when I was listening to her argument, the argument she made, she didn't make it well enough to convince me that it wasn't coming from a victim like nature. And because I don't take on. I understand this, and that's when I gained the concept of I understand what we've gone through in our history. However, I also don't take on the victim mentality.
Right.
And that the thing is that because I know there are things that my own community can better about ourselves, and things that we can take responsibility for that oftentimes we do not. And
you positive. Niggas you know only want to hear that.
You know what I'm saying? It's real shit.
Niggas want to live in that victim mentality. You know, my mom, she talks about this all the time about how, like, you know, in that era, you know, you blame everything on the white man. You know, and it's the white man's fault. It's the white man that we down bad. It's the white man that can't get a job.
It's not that red lines don't exist. It's not that there aren't systematic things in place that are targeted at black people. It's not that doesn't exist.
It's not impossible. It's not impossible.
And it's also a way of changing your thinking, changing your actions, just moving differently and you know, or smart, just improving your thinking. There's a thing of improving your thinking, and
you can even go back to like, and you know, and Kanye got a whole lot of flack for saying that like slavery was a choice, but like when you really think about it, we outnumbered every plantation that we were on. You know what I'm saying? And if motherfuckers had a different perspective, like if they weren't such in fear.
That's easier to say because
I know it's easier, but I'm just saying like
because like that whole slavery is a choice thing. I can't. There's too many things that I can't agree with that.
I just think that in a
slavery
way
was a whole different situation. I know the generations before us had to be much tougher than us to survive what they had to survive and shit. It's just a matter of now that we have, it's because the generations before us were so tough and laid such a foundation, it was up to us to take that foundation and bring us up more.
But that's what I'm saying though.
And
Like when you have those people who have that different mentality, you see the power and the change that can be affected.
yeah,
And if you didn't have certain slaves who didn't seek freedom and who didn't want like out of enslavement and didn't do something about it, you know, how soon would we have gotten something done if we didn't have no Frederick Douglass, if we didn't have a Harriet Tubman, if we didn't have what's my dude from Birth of a Nation, Nat Turner. If we didn't have these people who were saying, hey, we don't have to live like this, we don't have to be victims of our circumstances, right? Like a lot of certain shit wouldn't happen.
Right.
So in the grand scheme of things, like we as black people, you know, shit has always been stacked against us, but we have the power and the energy that it takes to just come together and overcome this shit.
You know, I listened to the Valuetainment the channel a lot. Shout out to them. But like, what is it? They have a lot of Republican conversations, and I like to listen to adverse sides of the spectrum just so I can get a wider perspective and a greater understanding of what everybody's saying. You know, it starts to make more sense when you hear what everybody's got to say, and that's why I am of this mind. That it at least helps me become of this mind that like you know there is weight to the argument of things like systematically unfair and set up for failure. Indeed they are, and that's undeniable. Can you take responsibility for yourself is the bottom line at every the 24th hour. You know what I mean? Like you gotta go to bed. You know, you gotta sleep. How do you go to sleep at night? You know, and you know, if you if you don't want to look at yourself, you will keep doing. A lot of people can choose to keep doing what they're doing, ignoring the signs and stuff, and that feels better. Or you know, you could actually put in the work to live with yourself.
and again that but all of it always goes back to the mentality anyway, right?
Yeah,
because if
100%.
you don't have that mentality of looking to do better and pull yourself out of a situation,
100%.
you know, you're going to remain in that situation. You're going to remain a victim, and you're never going to take full accountability for what you could be doing differently.
How you going to move forward when you're in the past, you know?
Like if you the best thing to a human being is knowledge.
Right.
And the best thing that ever happened to black folk was knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we started to know more, which means that we either had to start doing better or stay where we are.
That's a deeper argument too, though, because whose knowledge? What is his name? Dan Gregory once said, you know, that kind of the same thing to that regard, knowledge being power. However, like information is power, and if I give you bad information, you got bad power. You know, like say, I've recently heard from somebody that Martin Luther King was assassinated around the time that he had realized that he was marching people into a burning house as he was preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, the white man's, God and all this kind of stuff, or, so on and so forth. So I said that to say, what is it? What was I saying?
Talking about knowledge.
Oh, yeah, I said it to say, you got bad information, you got bad power. He's thinking he's cleansing helping his people, but he's also leading them to, their doom anyway.
I think that in that scenario though, I think that ties more into a religious side more than
well, just an analogy I was trying
to but more in a self accountability side. Like the knowledge that you know that you don't have to be in a certain situation. Like if you know there's an other side of things, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know you can be free, then you're not gonna think to be free.
Right.
But if you know you can be free, you're gonna start to do things to be free.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna start to make actions to go towards your freedom. You're gonna start to make actions to bring other people out of their situations and make them free too. So the knowledge in which that's gonna require means you either have to take responsibility for that, for you either stepping out of where you are or staying where you are. You know,
It's kind of like the whole thing of not.
it's like the Matrix.
Like not masturbating. I know that's how you relate that, but not masturbating and motherfucking having that focus. You have to be the person with that drive to be able to put yourself in position to do things, as opposed to being a slave to your own mentalities and your own desires and shit, and just kind of not reaching your level of potential because you decide to stay at that level of mentality.
I'll tell you what, we seen real life examples of motherfuckers who choose to do other things.
Right.
Who don't choose.
Seeing how it goes.
Who don't choose to just do the thing that they should probably do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Ourselves included.
Right, but we made probably better decisions along the way that they have, into which we're not in certain situations that they are in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whether that be us not going to jail, whether us not having kids at a young age, you know what I'm saying? And whether that's us like dying,
uh-huh.
you know what I'm saying? Like we had the ability to know in some way, whether we knew it or not, to go a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, I could be I could be the person to say that, like, what, because it is true to say that what works for one person's path and what didn't work for me was just not for me. It's not to say that it was wrong, because I know many great successes have come out of those same mistakes. It's just a matter of, am I willing to suffer that way? I don't think I wanted to with my lifetime.
But I think if you would ask those same people who have success, if they could have done it differently, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they had to go through that, like, you know.
They would tell you that it was necessary to make them who they were to get there, though. I think everybody, especially everybody in a good position, knows
you have to go through certain hardships.
Yeah, without those elements, you would miss out on what created the next event.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't really speak to what, like having kids and stuff. I know that's, I'm proud. It's a stat for me in my own head not to have children, and I'm 25 and whatnot. As a young man, and as active as been in the streets, but I made it out. No STD, no kids. It's a blessing. So you really you don't want to take that for granted. And but as people who don't have kids, we get to do stuff. I mean, people who have kids do stuff like this and everything. It's just a matter of, it makes it a lot easier on us. We made life easier on ourselves.
Yeah, but that's
and
what
we feel
saying.
Bad about it.
But I mean, shit.
I do. I'm talking for us. I need to talk to myself. I be feeling bad about it, man.
I feel bad
until I see other motherfuckers, and I'm like, you know what? I can't complain about my blessings.
That's what I'm saying. I feel bad for those who aren't in my situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta look at what your life could be.
A lot of moments when I was J. Cole and in those situations where, my niggas down the street wish they was living like, like.
Like we said, we drove past what the fuck we could have been.
Yeah,
we drove past that shit. So to be grateful and again, like, sure, certain things need to happen in certain people's lives to get to where they are. But a lot of times, certain like we discussed earlier, just because you can fuck a bitch doesn't mean you always should.
Right.
Just because you can do this thing doesn't mean you always should.
Right.
So the accountability comes in that you don't always have to go through certain shit to get to a certain place.
Right.
Detours are necessary. Right. You don't have to fucking go be a fucking a gangbanger to prove you fucking tough and a man.
100%.
You gotta do that shit, my nigga.
100%.
You don't gotta fucking sell drugs to prove that you can make money 100%. And be an entrepreneur. 100%. You don't gotta do that shit.
And then I can't knock the dude who do, because I was his customer.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just like,
I'm not saying you can knock him, but like, if you know that is an alternative.
Because there's a difference between people who have no choice and the people who make no choice.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
The accountability is there. Like if you know that there's another option for you, like the same way we always hear stories about niggas, you know, in certain hoods, you know, they try to join a gang, but they were good at basketball, football, some shit, and in the hood is like, nah, nigga, like. Go do that. Like, don't be over here. Because they knew that nigga didn't have to be where they're at. Them niggas don't have a choice.
And that person would be lucky to be surrounded by niggas like that, because a lot of niggas would see that, be jealous, consume you, take you down.
And be like, yo.
You know what I mean? You just let the game swallow you whole.
That reminds me. You ever see ATL with T.I.?
Yeah.
That reminds me of the part at the end when Big Boy put up on his little brother. And T.I. drove up. He was like, "Oh, I know that who I think it is." Yo, that shit is so fucking funny.
I know he was lit when it happened.
Yo, it was right at the end when he pulled up on him because he didn't have his money.
Yeah.
And he was shaking the
Big
bill.
Boy was like, "I know that who I think it is." That nigga was scared as shit. Nigga was shaking in his boots.
Yo, Big Boy was scary as fuck to me in that movie. He was scary as shit.
I think it is. When a nigga smiling because he about to kill you.
That shit was so scary.
That shit ain't funny.
Then he put up on him and took him to the trap. He was like, "Scared of dogs, nigga?" He's like,
He said, "J-Man."
Yo, that nigga was so terrifying as a kid. I was like, oh shit, no, this ain't Outcast, nigga. I was like, hold on, why
the fucking, I don't know why the Wicked Witch and the original Wizard of Oz was like something that was in my nightmares, nigga. Like, I ain't fuck with that bitch.
The dragon from Shrek was in my fucking nightmares. That bitch was scary. Hell yeah! Big ass bitch with fucking teeth and shit. Fucking huge ass eyes.
Hell yeah.
Man, that shit scared the fuck out of me.
My scary thing was the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
And yours was the dragon.
Yeah, that shit. Yo, I was having
animated
nightmares about that shit, man.
Nah, the Wicked Witch was scary. You bugging.
You scared of a bitch? Like, you scared of a real bitch? That's what you was scared of. Scared of a dragon.
This bitch was freaky.
I was scared of a
You scared of some animated shit. My bitch was real.
My bitch was real.
Yeah, that bitch was with demons and shit. She had monkeys and shit.
Man, that bitch was not scary.
Yeah, for some reason it was just creepy because it was old school, like motherfucker. Like, bitch, how you flying? This is an old movie.
Man, it's an old movie. Only new movies see people fly.
Yeah. That wasn't special effects. This shit is real.
This thing is real.
Get the fuck up. She said, "Fuck me, I'm on a grill, motherfucker."
I was talking about fucking Malibu's Most Wanted.
I'm talking about I'm on a
boat. I wasn't talking. You never seen Malibu.
I get Malibu's Most Wanted.
You shot him in the foot.
This shit is real. Oh, I said. You shot him in the foot. I said.
He was like, saying that this gun is real, then the bullets in this gun has got to be real. See, this my foot is real. This will really hurt. Bah! See, I just shot my foot.
This shit is real.
This thing is real.
How you going miss it for a few seconds too? Not even an hour. You shot it. Boom. This shit is real. You idiot.
So what cracked me up was the angle it had. It was on his foot in the hole. Is in his shoe. Yo, that was the funniest shit I had ever seen. This thing is real. But all that to say, man, be responsible. Take accountability for your fucking actions. All right, you know what I'm saying.
Real shit, man.
We all got freedom of will, power of choice.
To be better, man.
You know, do what you gotta do, and you know, be better. We've been going for a minute now. Probably the last thing I'll probably want to get into. I got more shit to go into if you want, but I'm pretty sure you saw the TDE announcement.
TDE?
Mm-hmm.
That Logan.
Yeah.
I heard about it, motherfucking. I'm to assume that, like, because of, like, her broadcast and shit, where people talking from TDE camp and shit, and motherfucking, just, in a line of, alluding to that it could be it has to be the bigger artists getting their shit out before the smaller artists might get their shit out the way. So
I was saying that I was hearing people saying the opposite. Like they want to get out like Baby Keem and like Isaiah Rashad.
I don't know any of these guys except for Isaiah Rashad.
You know Isaiah, Ab-Soul, fucking,
okay.
you know what I'm saying, and then like, you know, the rollout to then get to like the Kendricks and the Scissors and shit like that.
I don't know what's going on in the music industry right now. Like,
my whole thing is personally, I'm just like, yo, if it ain't Kendrick, if it ain't J-Rock, or if it ain't Schoolboy Q or SZA, I don't want it. I don't want it.
That the
Like,
whole camp thing.
In my dream, I don't mean to cut you off. In my dream, I want the collective like TDE like album for everybody on that shit. Like the Young Money album, shit was trash. But like an actual like TDE like album, all them niggas together and shit like that. Like, you know, I would love that shit. And they kind of did that on the Black Panther album, and that was solid and I loved it. It was fire. But like, I don't want it to be associated with like a movie. I want like the actual music to be just the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult to imagine. Like for me as a consumer, like
Even the Dreamville shit.
What is it? I'm not. You put me onto a lot of this music stuff. So like as far as like when this stuff comes out, right? They ought to know that. Like I just realized how much playlists have an effect on how a consumer like myself can catch on to some of their music and shit, and just anybody catches on to music these days, and like listening to you mention these smaller artists in the midst of bigger names like SZA and J-Rock and all them. In a time like the corona where people are going outside and stuff again, but I'm just the whole TDE camp, who's going outside and playing TDE?
I don't think it's ever been like their repertoire.
No, you're right. And not really the bag in which they are successful in, because they're still successful.
It wasn't even until recently.
A different bag.
It wasn't even until recently they was playing like Kendrick in the club until he dropped Damn.
Right.
There wasn't. I mean, they probably play like swimming pools in the club and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he wasn't playing no fucking King Kunta outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were playing 100%. All right at like protests.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, like, but until you drop Humble and, you know, DNA and Element and shit like that and Loyalty with Rihanna, like those like more pop centric.
I'm wondering what they'll have to say that'll catch my attention in this time. Like bars are like what Kendrick, for example, he's been out for so long. If he came out, we expect him to his next record, whatever it is, to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I think he always is though.
Yeah, and that's just all I'm saying. Like with this whole loading TDE thing, with the caliber of artists that they have, I expect more, and I don't want to be disappointed. With that, I've already taken them off the list of songs I'm going to hear outside. Type, you know, it get me hype songs. So that's not going to be a reason I'm going to be listening to it for. I'm going to be listening to it for the content, and the content has to go beyond just bars. Your skills won't impress me anymore. So they gotta. They're just on a. They got big shoes to fill.
I mean, I feel that. I feel what you're saying. You know what I mean? A lot of their music, probably like nowadays, the one who you will probably hear the most outside is probably like SZA, just because she has like, you know, the women audience appeal.
Oh yeah.
But
and I forgot about the part she played. I didn't mean to make it all about bars.
I mean, either way, like, you know, her content is what gets people in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's that for a reason. However,
not just bars, but concept, like the song. You know,
yeah, like
because Schoolboy Q, you know, bet I got some weed songs like you can fuck my bitch, you can have my hoe. Like, there's you know, you can make a song in different ways and have messages to the whole shit. I don't know. It's just. It's like a surprise me thing, but you hope the surprise is good.
Yeah, I never expect. It's kind of like a Drake thing. Like, you don't always expect
expectations.
Not even that. I always put I keep my expectations as that I'm gonna like it.
Okay.
I already know I'm going to like. I come in looking.
Oh, okay.
I come in looking to like the project from these artists I actually genuinely fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it isn't like a new artist where like I'm not coming in looking to like it. I'm coming in looking to see if I vibe with it first. Because I don't know that artist yet.
I take that and I say you should take that approach to our conversation earlier with your interactions with the as far as like you said the ladies are concerned when you said I already assumed that you got a whole past or something like that. Maybe you should flip that perspective.
To assuming that they don't.
Not necessarily that they don't, but just with a more positive mindset. We was both in sales. You know how they say going into it with the mindset is the start of the process of the sale.
I have that mindset to
protect yourself,
avoid me from getting like too serious with a woman.
Oh, so, and
not to say she's bad.
You know, I understand that based off of I
always come. I come in with that shit with whole positivity. I already like because if you fucking with me already, I already know like it's gonna be whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm coming into that mentality like not to get so serious.
Yeah, in a way that's positive as well because it's just it's a temperance thing. Like it's just one of the temperature checks.
I like every bitch that like me.
Real shit.
Look, bitch, you like me, I like you too. All right, what's up?
Although I've also in my experience, I've learned that can be a detriment too. Shit, like motherfucking, liking the women that like you, it will tell you a lot about you, like as far as what level you on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's one thing to like the women that like you, and then it's one thing to like what you want, like or. You know what I mean? Like, get the
that.
woman.
I feel like the opposite of that because I know where you're going with it.
Yeah.
I say I like the women that like me because it avoids me wasting time with women who don't like
me.
100%.
You know. Again, offline, like live, you know how I roll.
Yeah.
I just present the perspective of like it's one, just giving yourself that carrot to be of higher value.
Yeah, all the time. And and luckily, we have had instances where the women that we did want like this too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Majority of the time, if a bitch like me and I do like you genuinely too, and you're someone who I would want to be with, like, yeah, let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? But back to the music thing, like with those artists who I love, like TDE, like I'm expecting to like it already. You know what I mean? Like, I'm expecting to come into it, like, hearing something I never heard, hearing some crazy shit, like, whatever it is, like, that's just what I come into it listening for. The same way I do for you. Like, every time you send me shit, I'm like, I already know I'm gonna fuck with it. I already know, like, because I know you played me shit before, I heard it before, like,
a lot of times
I know to come into it.
I probably shouldn't, it messes with the creative thought when I share it earlier. But then again, like, what is that? Closed in circle, you want to share it with your friends and shit like that, so. Yeah.
I feel you on that. Like, and music is such a subjective thing.
It is.
But I think when it comes to TDE, like, my personal opinion, it's always gonna drive it's gonna push like music forward every time. Especially with someone like Kendrick. Especially lately with someone like SZA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I was on SZA early. Like, that was my
Child's Play you put me on too.
Man,
you even put me on a chance with acid rap and all that kind
of stuff.
All
that shit.
Which I brought to college, and oddly enough, these white boys was the ones that was trying to play I'm in love with the Coco and all this Fetty Wap and just mainstream trap music that was made for white kids to enjoy, basically, so that they could feel like they know what the hood is like. Or
they feel like they niggas.
Yeah, basically. And goddamn, it sells. And that's the music that that's why a lot of people are getting into music nowadays, is for that monetary concept. So that's another thing with TDE I can respect, is they are in it for the money, because you got to make money out of your craft, but they're good at their craft.
They're artists for real.
Yeah.
They're artists for real.
They have,
It's way different because, and you could tell typically when an artist,
not just stars.
Yeah, like when certain like people who make music, I kind of go off what their content is and how frequently they release things to tell me that you're after like the money. You're not really in it for the art. Because if you're someone who's really like an artist and who takes the shit seriously, you're someone who's gonna take time with your projects. Even if you get it done fast, you're not looking to put it out until you feel like that shit is perfect because you care about how that shit's gonna come out. The reason why we love the Drakes and the Kendricks and the Coles and the fucking even like the Rick Rosses and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like these niggas make quality music that we all can like get into and we embrace.
Although speaking about getting into it, you talk about taking time, and then you mentioned Drake, and then you realize that he's been on top for so long because he's had back to backs every season, and
he's taking years off. Yeah, he's taking years off.
But he's always had one.
But what I'm saying is that he isn't dropping 2 albums a year, or 4 mixtapes a year.
Right. However, the deeper darker of getting into it was that I was mentioning was just the motherfucking the fact that the separation for him was he had a camp that was putting in work for him, like how Division just got under a new management team and shit. You know, like it gives you a outside and cloudy view of what might be as far as what management is like being over there as an artist, yeah, nobody really breaks. Nobody really gets a lot of attention except for the biggest artist over there, which is that OVO brand is Drake's. And so like I didn't want that to go like by the wayside, just like.
Well, I think that's touching on a whole different topic of just like that camp. I'm just talking about as far as like what.
Because we was talking about art or having talent and shit. You can't deny Drake's talent and whatnot. But you were saying the time in which it takes to put something out, and I just realized that Drake's always had one, and that might be less due to his artistry, more due to his business.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of those artists who I just even named though. Like you can look at a Cole or a Kendrick and see how long they take to put out projects, and even though it is as frequent as Drake, even though it isn't frequent as Drake, you still know it's gonna be quality. Yeah. Because they care about the art. You know what I mean? No matter who their camp is. Because Cole is signed by Hove. Kendrick is TD, like we just discussed. And that nigga's a genius. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know like what to expect. And even someone like a Division, sure, like, he will probably want to release more. But then again, like, I assume he's someone who is a genuine artist based off what he does put out. Doesn't matter what label he's under.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of these artists, a lot of times don't... From also, too... A lot of these artists will complain about how their label isn't letting them put out anything.
Okay.
But a lot of times, it's their choice, too.
We don't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you the first thing about what a contract is telling you can and cannot do outside of legal bounds. I can tell you the first thing.
I'll give you a perfect example, right? So, Chris Brown, right? This nigga is signed to, I think, RCA, I believe. I think it's RCA.
I wouldn't know.
And this nigga will tell you, well, he's showing us that he's going to put out shit when he wants to put it out. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's going to be certain artists who are always going to have music, you know what I'm saying, who are going to put out music when they want to put out fucking music. You know what I'm saying? Whether the label is going to tell them to do it or not.
He is with RCA.
So, unless you're, or it's a time when, if you're like a TDE who is strategic about putting out their music, that's a different story. But if a label is totally restricting you, you know what I'm saying, like a Lil Wayne situation or a Tiger situation, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of times you're just not going to put it out right away. Or even like a Bryson Tiller. Like, this nigga can do whatever he wants. But this nigga only dropped 2 albums. And the second one was a repeat of the first one.
Which really, what that really tell you? Motherfuckers like, especially
3 albums on that.
Especially in this time, as like I'm not clearly I'm nobody famous or popular in that regard. However, just as an artist, somebody and who loves the artistry of things, getting creative really does have to do with the life you live. And like where you're pulling your inspiration from. Mm. And if you're not living enough, you won't have anything to write about. And like what you consume digitally, I was gonna say literally, but
just what you consume.
Yeah, just what you consume. Like that's all a part of the makeup of your art. And yeah, I could, if he's putting out a deluxe album of what he put out 2 years ago, basically, you kind of see where the creative framework is at. People don't have nothing to say.
I mean, that's I say that to say because the album it was okay. It was like I said, it was a repeat of the first album that he put out just because it was real similar, and it sounded like these were tracks that could have been on that just with a few bonus new shit. You know what I'm saying? But every time I watch artists in interviews or hear them talk about their music, they always say that they have fucking songs. They always say that. They always say, I'm in the studio, I got shit, I'm always recording, you know what I'm saying? I'm always working type time. Like, and when I hear that, I'm like, there's no way that, for example, like a Trey, like, I know this nigga has like 3 more albums that he is not putting out. Well, I know he does. Also know, and at least one mixtape.
I also know in artistry, you can have a lot of stuff that is considered product, but you're not satisfied with it.
For sure.
You know?
For sure, but who's to say that those same people, when they put out hits, I always tell you that I didn't even know it was going to take off like that.
Yeah.
Drake wanted, when he dropped Scorpion, he wanted to make the Michael Jackson song the single. But then Life's for What was popping, and that became the single.
Well, there's that element too. There's also the element, which is one of the most important, of timing. And because what is it? I saw this one little framework of a meme where Lil Uzi was saying something about timing is one of the most important elements in his success. Just because like it's all about taking advantage of the opportunities you have now, and what song may have been popping then will not pop 2 weeks later in this microwave era that we got. So like motherfucking yeah, a lot of those songs is dead to the grave by the time if Trey released a lot of the shit that he already recorded, probably 90% of it won't even get heard because motherfuckers won't care enough, or it won't be the bop of now. It won't have the sound.
But then again, how he hasn't been the bop of sound now for the like past like fucking 10 years now.
So he shouldn't care, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just art. Because to him, he's a business.
Yeah. But even then, it's just like he still manages to. He still has a core audience who's gonna buy that shit. You know what I'm saying? If Chris Brown can...
Well, us as a core artist, we advocate for him to release that shit because we want to hear it.
Yeah. But if Chris Brown can drop a 50-song project and all them shits go, and damn near 90% of them shits sound the same.
Mm-hmm. But now you're talking about a different artist. You're talking about Chris Brown. It's levels to the shit.
I think that in the caliber in which that they create music, that, again, in this day and age of streaming, like... it's encouraged to put out more songs.
It is.
And if you have that much material that you can put out that you in your mind deem as quality, whether or not you think it's perfect or not, that you just want to put out for your fans to be satisfied off of, and if you really do care about the business and know you can make money off of streams, why not?
Hey, it's because you start to balance assets, like just like money. Motherfucking, you don't want to. Fetty Wap made a mistake of putting all his hits out at once, and and was dry for the rest of his shit. Like, we don't hear about Fetty. He's still making money, of course, because like he's still getting money from the shit he did. But like, is he buzzing? No, because he emptied his clip, and a lot of times, like, motherfucking, you gotta be strategic about when you're gonna shoot your shot. And I feel like that's what a lot of artists that are taking this business mad seriously have to do. And if it was more about the art, then we hear more from them, or we wouldn't. But like,
that's the point I was trying to make earlier. Like, you know, like I said, it depends on if I'm going to view you as someone who's really a musical artist or someone who's just making music to make money.
Right.
Depending on the content and the frequency.
Makes it clear.
So, like I said before, if Chris Brown, someone who we all deem to be such an amazing artist, drops so frequently and at the rate that he does, and the content usually isn't that extraordinary, like, how come I can't get that from an artist who I deem to be more of an artist than him to do, who I know could probably make more quality music than he does, in my subjective view.
I was about to say that's all subjective because we're talking about quality now, and was considered not that good and good, because I'm sure even though he's made hit after hit after hit, Chris Brown, it's like the thing Eminem said that he had to fight against, like being the best again and again, beating yourself all over again. And just imagine the pressure you're under when you're Chris Brown, who has to beat his last record all the time. Like, how? Nigga, I'm at the top. I gotta create another top. And it just goes to, so what Chris Brown isn't a machine right now. Like, his shit is automatic. It's like you're not at the point of artistry. You got people who care about artistry working for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a system now. That's a machine is feeding too many people for it to fail. So he can't make it about the art.
So let me ask you that, because someone who has to top themselves right now would, is a conversation about Drake and whatnot, right? I personally believe that,
and I do apologize if I'm dragging this out.
No, it's whatever. I'm enjoying this.
Good.
I personally believe that when it comes to like Drake overall, that so far every time that we seem to like doubt him that he isn't gonna like top himself again, somehow this nigga just ends up. At this point,
if I was a gambling master, all in.
Yeah, like it's no way, because I'm pretty sure you've seen the one John when he it was like some comment he made on somebody's post. He was like, they slept on Scorpion on Views when it first came out, and now everybody's taking their word back, saying it's a classic now. They're gonna say that with Certified Lover Boy. So I'm just like, is it gonna be one of those things where we're gonna look back a year later and be like, damn, this shit was actually a banger?
Yeah, because
he's gonna do numbers regardless, because it's Drake.
I don't mean to get off topic, but like we discussed at some point how you did how.
Stop recording.
Oh yeah, it did the stop thing. Remember how you discussed with me at one point where Drake was a representation of yourself in a way in your head because of the vindication you feel from just being who you were, and it turning out to put you on top after like everybody, you ain't fuck with me back then, girl. How about now? Cause I'm up right now.
You stuck right now.
After that you put him as a dog. The rest of the bars, you start rapping this over. You do this, do that, you bitch. You messing with everything that you did. I'm fucking with bitch did. Say you dumb motherfucker. You got fired up. You put a little fuck got fired up. Get fired up.
Think about what the fuck.
Say look picture one picture, son. Portrait of a bitch.
They don't know what the fuck we laughing at.
You're like, what the fuck? We gotta make a cut two of that shit.
Oh my god.
It's your Darth Vader just look beat you up, picture, son. Gotta fire it up. That shit crazy. Shit,
yeah, how you saying like I relate to
to Drake, because like you feel that vindication in just being yourself and it putting you on top, as opposed to trying to be these characters and like just doing it a different way. And we discussed that a lot, how like maybe the last generation had to do more than what the current generation does have to do, and so that would deem the current generation softer than the last. However, the newer generation has the opportunity to expound on thoughts that weren't appealing, like they just weren't.
It wasn't probable then.
Yeah. Shit just. There wasn't as much open thought.
There wasn't enough room to do that just yet. Like we had to make the space for that, and because they made the space, we have to utilize it. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to do the old thing anymore. I remember that was something they said back in Door to Door. The vice president Mike, he was like, he's like, we don't have to. He used to, always hear a lot of guys say, well, that's how we used to do it. Well, it's like, well, we have to change. We have to evolve.
Right. You have to evolve.
Like we
Look
did
at
those
Sears.
we did those things before, so we can get to where we are now.
Right.
And if we continue to do the same thing, we're only ever going to remain at a certain level.
Right.
You have to change. You have to develop, and you have to keep progressing.
It's natural selection.
Right. And in Drake's case, it's like he's essentially reinvented himself almost every project.
And that's the word, reinvent. It's so
Every
important.
project.
You have to do that.
You know,
as a kid, I remember, like 6 and 7. You look at little stuff, and the kids think like a lot. And I would look at toys and this and that and all the things I would use, and be like, damn, I only have a little bit of time before I run out of time to invent the next big thing. Like, what am I gonna invent that everybody uses? How am I gonna make us rich? Like, to this day, the only thing I've invented, I haven't invented it. I've just been reinventing. And to this point, all I can do is as far as I've gotten, I'm just working on reinventing myself, and with my music, like you can hope the mission is that you can reinvent the image of hip hop. You can reinvent a time period, or you can reinvent, because I know like it's different. Like you could it could just be a mixture of mess. I don't know, but reinventing hip hop, or reinventing a way of seeing a genre. Yeah. My bad.
No,
Separate point.
Yeah.
Separate point. But just the whole idea. Damn. What do you do? How are we gonna get wealthy? What do you invent? You have to have the mind for that.
I think that because as soon as they say once you accomplish a goal, you have to set another goal to keep going. And once you understand that what you already done, that there's more to do, you either are content or you're looking to do something more and greater. Right? So if I'm Drake and I know that I have all these products behind me that are certified classics, arguably, right? Damn, they're all of them platinum or gold in some degrees. What's next for me now is to reinvent myself again.
Yeah, you always do have to.
And when you look back at where he started from like even So Far Gone up until Scorpion, he don't even sound the same
At all.
This nigga use a whole new flows, whole new stories, like whole new metaphors and shit. Like even the 3-piece he just dropped.
At all.
That shit go crazy. It's like those 3 songs. Like I can't imagine what 10, 16, 20, 25 songs gonna be from this nigga.
Right.
It's gotta be
anticipated.
It's gotta be bangers. Cause if those 3 shit slap.
Yeah.
And I'm already like you at the top of the game, higher than we probably ever seen. Like Weezy done handed it off. I still got no fumbles. Like I'm on a hot 100, numero uno. This shit come on up. Like what the fuck, nigga?
And what's interesting, the element about Drake that's always interesting to me is that his music is programmable. Like it has the ability to grow on you, because that song, all of his songs that become big hits, like, and that they knew would be hits, I hear it and I don't take to it at first. Like I don't take to it. Let's see what's about to happen next. Okay. I think getting in the gym and hearing these things, the places you hear this music really changes the way your perspective, you perceive it. Because being in the gym and hearing that shit, it's different. You know, you ain't just sitting there listening to music. It's not all about, you don't get into the words as much as the energy. And you realize what it gives you a bigger perspective about what music is about.
Right.
And you get past you realize what is artistry. There is artistry in everybody's stuff, because it's supposed to make you feel something.
And like I said, if I can relate myself to that, like, man, like, even like how we was talking about our inception, like we've been reinventing ourselves this whole time.
Real shit.
Like we're not like we're still us, but we're not 12, 13, 14-year-old niggas no more. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not doing like those things that we used to do.
Real shit.
And a lot of things that we said that we are gonna do, like Drake, We did them shits.
And we
and
do
more.
feel vindicated and living the life we do live. Like, despite not being like everybody else, it put us in a position. Jay had a bar where, and the song "Feeling It," where he was like, I'm putting myself in a position most of these niggas. He said, I'm in a position most of these rappers ain't in. I'm living.
That's hard.
That's hard.
That's hard.
Like, it speaks volumes. But, because it's just like, yeah, I might not be y'all, but I'm living.
Yeah.
And I'm good. Like, yeah, so, I feel vindication in that. Good shit.
Hell yeah, dog. Listen.
Good shit, nigga.
Well, look, we've been going for a minute.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it off.
Hey, look, we ain't got no official outro, but
Nah, we gonna get this thing together, even the audio, all that. You know what it is.
Tune in for motherfucking next week. You know what I'm saying? Jdere Bird's podcast.
Every Monday.
I'm Cole.
I'm Rob.
You know what it is. Jdere Bird's podcast. We out.
Choo. Good shit, nigga.